It's time for another video where I answer some of the questions you guys have been emailing me. Questions about PMO rebooting and NoFap in general. Scandinavian Bob here, hi. Yeah, a real voice and person behind this video who has been involved in the porn addiction community for more than a decade now. So if you're getting tired of all these fake AI videos out there, consider subscribing. So let's jump in right away, shall we? Hi Bob, if you could give me just one tip on how to overcome my PMO addiction, what would it be? Oh, well, you probably know that there are several things you need to consider in order to quit, and that there is no single magic bullet. But okay, I'll play your game. You have to cut down on the time you spend online during your first 2 to 4 weeks. Listen, if you're trying to overcome a real PMO addiction, you just can't be aimlessly browsing for hours at end in the beginning. It simply will not work. Now, after about a month or so, it becomes much easier, but until then you absolutely need to have a system in place to make the barriers to relapse bigger. By the way, putting systems in place is what I do during a one-on-one coaching call, so feel free to reach out to me if you need help with that. There's a link under the video. Hi Bob, if I can get it up to my hand's touch alone without adult sites, does that mean I no longer have PIED? Well, for the most part, yes. You are no longer dependent on adult sites in order to achieve a boner. However, there are exceptions. I hate to be a party pooper here, but there are guys who are still not 100% even though they can do this. You see, PIED is mostly caused by a combination of desensitization and conditioning. And if we simplify this greatly, you can say that in the PIED equation, these are the pieces: adult sites plus your hand equals boner and busting. Well, since you've been using this equation for so long, hand, adult sites, hand, adult sites, hand, adult sites, and so on, then simply using your hand without adult sites can in some cases remind the brain about the full equation. And in some cases it can do that enough so that it fires up the same old pathways you used when doing it to the dirty videos, and thus it could also fire up your boners. Kind of like how Pavlov's dog salivated to the bell even though there wasn't any food there. It's conditioning. However, if this happens and you find yourself still struggling a bit with PIED, even though you can get hard to touch alone, rest assured that you are at least very close to being fixed, and all you need is just a little bit more rewiring to real life people. But again, in most cases, if you can achieve a solid boner with no adult sites and just using physical sensation without fantasies, yes, in most cases you're good to go. Now, performance anxiety is also very common here, but this time we are talking strictly about PIED. Hello Scandinavian Bob. I'm in my second week and just entered the flatline. How long does it take until I get out of it? Well, everybody's reboot is different, so unfortunately that's impossible to say. However, I can tell you that most flatlines range somewhere between 10 to 70 days. Now, some will have longer flatlines than that, but that's the most common length right there. And guys watching this should also know that not everyone will face a flatline after they quit. And this is even if they had a real PMO addiction. Yeah, I know it's unfair, but hey, there's nothing fair about life. Hi Bob, my ex-girlfriend keeps sending me short videos of her emming. Since I know her in real life, is this okay for my reboot? Hey man, PMO addiction is formed by the delivery system we have nowadays. In other words, pixels on a screen, and it has nothing to do with whether you know the person who sent it or not. Look, if you go out eating junk food, would the junk food be less unhealthy if someone you knew was serving it to you? No, it wouldn't. Well, it's the same with this. It's still pixels on a screen that's turning you on. And if you want to overcome PIED or a PMO addiction, you need to stop feeding the addiction like that. So say no to pixels on a screen and yes to meeting people in the real world outside the screen. Alright, and if you ever need help with rebooting, relapses, flatline, or how to navigate your reboot with a partner without slowing down your progress, I've been in this community for over a decade now, and I've pretty much seen it all. So if you need help, you can always reach out to me for a one-on-one coaching session using the link below. And oh hey guys, speaking of rebooting, take a look at the video you can see on the screen right here to uncover something about rebooting that the old-timers in this space know, but beginners almost always miss. Take a look right now and you'll see exactly what I mean. This is Scandinavian Bob signing out for today. Consider subscribing for more and I'll see you in the next one.